Welcome, everybody. My name is Sandy the Sandman Robinson, and you are not going to believe what I am doing right now. I am hosting a movie battlegrounds match, and this match is going to be epic in its proportion. It might be one of the best debates we see ever in this case. So I am extraordinarily happy to be here. We are doing this debate. The competitors are Cody Newberry and Henry Sanchez, but I wouldn't be able to do this all by myself. I do have two judges with me. I got Malcolm Goldilay and Jay Burns. Both of you guys, how are you guys doing today? Are you as excited about this match as I am?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, both Henry and Cody really love to talk, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
You are absolutely 100% right on there. Jay, how you feeling about today?
Oh man, I am hyped to see this go down. I do know one of these people as a motor mouth, and then the other is just a classic pugilist when it comes to words. It's going to be a clash of titans. I can't wait to see what happens.
Absolutely perfect. All right, guys. So you guys all know what the rules are. I am going to let these guys go at it. All right, and introducing first, with a record of 3 wins, 1 losses, he is Henry Confidential Sanchez. And his opponent, the heavy hitter out of the East Coast, he has a record
Everyone thinks that.
of 1-0. He is Cody Newberry. All right, so those are the introductions. Now we're going to get right into it, guys. I am going to give them their first question, and Henry is going to be giving his opening first, and then Cody will respond with his. The very first question that we have today is, what is the best movie of the 80s?
All right, so when you think of the decade of the 80s, you think of a very distinctive time period. So you think of clothes, you think of lingo, you think of just types of people and what it represents. And the movie that I'm going to talk about for the best movie of the 80s, not only best represents the 80s, but is also the best in quality. And I'm going with, let's take it back. Back to the Future, 1985, Robert Zemeckis, Michael J. Fox, and Christopher Lloyd, a movie that shows exactly what it's like to go back to the 80s. And guess what? We're also going to go to the 50s, but it's the movie, when you think of the 80s, it's the first movie that you think of. And it's one that we're at no doubt of any time of your life where you like, oh, Back to the Future, oh, it's the 80s, or 80s, oh, Back to the Future. So it's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of the 80s, especially when you're talking about movies. So Back to the Future, best movie of the 80s.
All right, and Cody, what did you pick?
Well, I picked a classic, Martin Scorsese's Raging Bull. See, how I took the question is, it was the best movie of the 80s. Didn't have to represent the 80s. That was not the question. My main thing is the best shot-for-shot movie is Martin Scorsese's, starring Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci. This movie shows a boxer that goes from the heights to the lowest of lows, back to some redemption, and then he ended up declining, tearing down himself. It's literally spoken about as being Scorsese's best movie, and it literally is. It is shot for shot. It's beautiful from the directing style, from the editing, from the music, from the boxing sequences. And this movie it's amazing that this movie came out in the 80s with the technology that we have nowadays. This movie can look like it was made today.
All right, so I've now given you guys your rules. Whoever talks first, it will start the debate, and then you guys can just go right at her for 5 minutes. Are you both ready?
Yep.
Ready.
I will count you down as soon as you hear me say 1. Get going. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
So I'll start off by saying I wasn't necessarily saying that it is what definitely. I was just saying that when you think of the 80s, you think of Back to the Future, and when you think of Back to the Future, you think of the 80s. So it's just one of the first things that comes to mind. So not only is it the first that comes to mind, but also the best in quality. It's a movie that represents friendship, family, action, science fiction, and it has a great score, great visuals. You're talking about your movie holds up. This movie has de-aging things where you have people who are older and they're playing younger, and people are playing younger, playing older. It has everything that you need. That is a family movie. It's an action movie, science fiction. It's everything you need. And especially when you think of the 80s, this is the first one that comes to mind.
Yeah, and that's a fantastic point. But your problem is your movie is a part of a trilogy, and you want to see what comes next. So your movie cannot be watched nowadays singly. You cannot watch that movie and not wonder what goes on. If you've never seen Back to the Future or know anything about Back to the Future, the one thing that you'll watch it and end up doing is searching, oh, did they ever make a Back to the Future 2? And they did. And people will bounce those back and forth, so you don't even know if it's the best of yours because people love number 2. Raging Bull has these moments that it is the best shot-for-shot movie of the 80s by far, and it came out in 1980, and it literally is the influence of boxing movies from that point on. Scorsese was robbed of the directing Oscar, and that's why he had to win for The Departed in 2006. That's the thing. Scorsese does such a great shot. There's literally a scene in this movie where Sugar Ray Robinson is literally punching De Niro in the face constantly, and you see blood squirt and him get weak in the knees, and he literally goes up to Sugar Ray at the end of it and goes, "You never knocked me down. You never knocked me down." But the secret was he knocks himself down the entire movie, and you feel for that guy's character because you want him to just have a redemption story. And that's the beautiful thing of this movie. There isn't one. It isn't. He ends it where he finishes it.
So the only thing about your movie is you say you want him to have a redemption story, and that's only because he's the actual lead character. The way that the narrative tells the story and the way that his actual performance of the character is he's not likable, and there's no redeeming qualities for him. And yes, it's based on a true story, but when you're having a movie, you want to represent, when you talk about the best movie of the 80s or the best movie of anything, you at least want a likable character. And that's why when you ask people what is Steven Spielberg's best movie, most people aren't going to say Schindler's List, even though that is the right answer, but it's just not what you would want because you can't enjoy it. So at least you have to have some enjoyment for your movie.
That's completely hearsay on your part. Movies can have emotional elements and be depressing and be sad.
Well, that's just like you said that my movie is not even the best of my trilogy. I'm just bouncing off of that and saying when you think of your movie,
the problem is your movie literally ends with a cliffhanger, and you have to pop in part 2 to finish the story.
See, that doesn't matter. The whole point is it's the highest point of the movie of the trilogy, and the only reason that everyone says that back to yes, it is because people like it more of as a cult movie, not as an actual movie. People because it has the nostalgic elements of Jaws, whatever, or you have the hoverboards and all that type of stuff. So that's the whole thing. When you have the first one, it's a grounded story. It's a grounded story about family, and it's entertaining. It's funny. It's got the action. And you want to talk about a redemption story? Think of Marty the whole time. Call me chicken, and then he's kind of like an egghead. But at the end of the day, he's redemptive because he's actually trying to teach his dad, who was a peeping Tom, and he actually gave him redemptive quality because his mother was about to be assaulted by Biff. So you have a lot of things there.
The best movie with the redemptive part. The whole thing is the story is the best movie shot in the 80s. And I'm sorry, there are 2 movies at least released in the 80s that did better than yours. Ferris Bueller and Breakfast Club are better teen comedies going through that genre than Back to the Future.
See, that's the thing. It's not just a teen comedy though. It has everything else to it. So you're saying that's because it has but if you want to look at it just as a teen comedy, then yes, there's other things, but it's the best overall movie because it's got more elements to it. It's more well-rounded.
The scientific elements are very little in that movie.
And that's why I'm saying it's not the best scientific movie, it's not the best teen movie, it's the best because it has elements all around it and it's so well-rounded. It is so well-rounded. You look at your movie. When you look at your movie and you ask what is the best boxing movie, everyone's going to say Rocky. People forget about Raging Bull all the time because you don't think of it as a boxing movie and you don't think of it as a likable character.
Franchise, but there's no way that Rocky is better than Raging Bull, and that's one of those moments.
If you ask people all the time what is the best boxing movie, people are going to say Raging. People are going to say Rocky.
So my main viewpoint is that you have great 2 character moments in your movie, but at the end of the day, it does not tie into anything. And you say the de-aging, I have to stop you right there. The de-aging is real bad in that movie, and it is shown near the end. And the whole problem with your whole character arc with you're a chicken and turn him into a peeping Tom, like literally it set up so many different messed up timelines that screwed up in number 2 and then going into number 3. Again,
see everything that you're talking about. You're talking about number two and 3. That has no real effect on what I'm talking about for my movie. No, it doesn't.
5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Okay.
That went by quick. I like it.
Raging Bull is one of those movies that comes once in a century. It is one of those fantastic movies. They have not been able to recreate a boxing movie that has that much heart and that much character. Everybody thinks of Robert De Niro. He literally had to go through so many transformations in this movie and gain weight and stuff, and he was literally rewarded the Oscar. The sad thing is, Scorsese was never redeemed. The problem with Back to the Future, yes, it is a fun movie. It has a lot of rewatchable capabilities. I will not deny that at all. But the problem with that movie is that it leaves with a cliffhanger, and you have to be able to know where the story goes. It's not a single film, and that is not a fault to Henry of picking that movie. The problem is that it can't be the best when it literally has to be added on by another movie. And I think Raging Bull is literally shot for shot, with score, with music, with writing, showing that he is literally the scum of the earth. And you don't care if he doesn't get redeemed, because movies can be depressing and can be sad, but literally you see where his story finally fell to the final end. You see how perfect Raging Bull actually is.
All right, so my thing with Back to the Future, you say that it's not the best one of the trilogy, or you're saying that the following movies make it a decline. Think of The Matrix. When you think of The Matrix, its sequels are terrible, but hands down is that the best movie of the trilogy and is one of the best action sci-fi movies ever made. So that's what I'm saying with Back to the Future. The subsequent movies have no actual bearing on this one as a whole. It is well-rounded. It has family elements, has comedy elements, has action elements to it. It has amazing score. It has amazing cinematography. It has amazing visuals, everything, amazing direction. With your movie, it is just if you take the acting out of it, which it's one of the best performances of all time, but it's kind of like a play when you think of the movie as an overall movie of the 80s. It is just one performance and some good direction, but it is not De Niro's best performance. It is not Scorsese's best movie. You have Taxi Driver, you have the movie that he won the Oscar for, The Departed, you have Wolf of Wall Street, you have Goodfellas. Raging Bull is not the best boxing movie. It's not best De Niro's movie, so it's definitely not the best movie of the 80s. Robert Zemeckis, when you think of Robert Zemeckis, you think Back to the Future. When you think Michael J. Fox, you think Back to the Future. When you think of the 80s, you think of Back to the Future. Back to the Future, best movie of the 80s.
Okay, wow. All right. Well, that was very, very, not heated, but passionate, I would say. You guys are both passionate about that. Both gave out good arguments, but I think it's time that we do our job on this panel and see who gets this point for question number one. I will go to our newest judge over here, Jay Burns. Jay, you listened to that argument. What did you think of it, and who are you going with? You got it, buddy.
This was a tough one because when I think of a movie from the 80s, automatically my mind goes to Goonies. But other than that, this was a hell of a opening round. They both had some really good points. I think I've gotta edge it to Cody. Unfortunately, he just hit him. He just continued to hit him, and what really stuck with me was the fact that you really kind of can't watch the first Back to the Future movie without watching the subsequent movies following. So Henry did a great job to combat it. It just wasn't enough, in my opinion.
Okay. That's good reasoning. I appreciate that. Malcolm, let's go over to you. Malcolm, what did you think of that battle and who you swinging your point towards?
Yeah, this was definitely an interesting debate because when you look at it on paper, both movies are so different from each other. It's really hard to counter them. But I'm probably going to have to edge my vote towards Henry, because even though Cody made some great points about Back to the Future sort of being part of a trilogy, I think Henry countered that perfectly by saying, like, even as a standalone movie, the first Back to the Future, it's got sort of the arcs like that can make it a standalone movie, because like there's so many movies that do have a cliffhanger at the end that just stay like that, even though they may not get a sequel. So I'm going to have to edge it towards Henry on this one.
All right. Thank you, Malcolm. That was great. I absolutely didn't do something that I told everybody I was going to do, which was go first every time, so I would avoid this circumstance. Yeah, this was a very, very interesting. When I read the answers to the questions, I thought that one really was the clear cut winner for me, and I was very, very surprised to see that. I actually thought about this the other way, and it was really, really boiled down to one thing and one thing only. Both players played an amazing question on this one and gave really, really good points. I do want to give my point this time to Cody very, very narrowly, just because the sequel thing and the cliffhanger thing really stood out to me on there. Henry did counter it, but I still think that it really solidified that you can, if you don't watch the next ones, you sort of are left wanting more from it. Whereas in Raging Bull, I think Cody very eloquently determined that you just had to watch that one movie. So in this instance, I will give my point to Cody. So that means that Cody is up 1-0 in this round, and we will go over to question number 2. All right. So, Cody, you'll get to go first on this time, and your question in round number 2 is, what movie character would be the best wingman?
All right, so I went with no-brainer pick for me, and I went with Hitch. Yes, that is Will Smith Hitch. From 2005. I put it this way: as a man, as a wingman has been described also by my opponent here, is pretty much a man that's literally going to help you and not cockblock you, pretty much. And if things go wrong, he is the one man to be able to help you out in that situation. And literally, that is Hitch. That is Will Smith's character to a T in this movie. He literally made Kevin James likable, which no one thought that was possible, especially after Paul Blart Mall Cop, which was before that. But still, he is likable in this movie. He will do anything for his friends, especially if you're his friends. He does this for a business, but can you imagine being best friends with this guy? This dude will want you to succeed. He wants you to find love, and he won't stop until he gets you set up with the right girl.
All right. Interesting pick. All right, Henry, you're good to go whenever you want to start talking.
So when you think of a wingman, you think of somebody who's not going to overthink things and it's not going to overcomplicate the situation, because you want someone to have your back and get straight to the point, but also doesn't have any fear when it comes to the situation. So I'm going with somebody who's a little more simple-minded and is a little more focused in one certain area. I'm going with Forrest Gump, because at the end of the day, he's all about his friends. He's very loving. He's very caring, but he also, as he says, he's not a smart man, but he knows what love is. So he's going to have your back at the end of the day. He's going to do whatever it takes to have that get you with the woman of your dreams or whoever you're looking for. And he's also not going to have that fear, because he doesn't have that fear. I mean, the man went to Vietnam, for God's sake.
All right. Another interesting choice. That's good. So we have Cody with Hitch and Henry with Forrest Gump as the best movie wingman. So you guys get 5 minutes to go, and it will start in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
See, the whole problem with Forrest Gump is if Jenny gets yelled at the bar, the man's over in the corner wherever the name was yelled. Or if action starts breaking down, that dude is running. We literally see it in every movie. The dude just runs for nonstop purposes. And that's the biggest problem with Forrest Gump. Yes, if I had to pick best friend, no question, Forrest Gump would be that guy, because literally he had to run back into action to get Bubba from the thing. But setting me up with a woman, terrible idea. I think that's terrible. I think he would literally compliment her shoes and be like, I bet you could walk a mile in those shoes, and like scare her away, creep her away. I don't think it's a great point at all. Go ahead, Henry.
So that I actually like that you said that he compliment the shoes. If you ask most women, they want the simple compliments. If you compliment a woman's shoes or their hair or something simple, they're going to think about that, because most men try so hard and they go over the top with their compliments or they're hitting on that's what creeps it out. Because if you think of most guys, it's over the top, and girls like, I've seen this before. But you want the simple compliments, and like I said, he's determined, he's focused. If he's lazy, he has that laser focus. When he has his thought process on something, or when he has your back, he's going to do whatever it takes. He literally went back to the jungles of Vietnam Vietnam to save Bubba. That was his best friend. So if this is truly your best friend, he's going to do whatever it takes to convince this woman that you are the best choice for her. Or if he doesn't think that you're the best, he doesn't have any filter. He's going to straight up say, I don't think she's right for you, or she smells like cigarettes. So he's going to have your back.
Yeah, but that's one of the crucial parts of the whole thing. All he has to do is not cockblock his friend, and he literally throws the girl off and ruins Lieutenant Dan's chances of getting with a woman. He literally says she tastes like cigarettes. That's a crucial part. And sorry, if I wanted to go to the bar, I'm not sure if I could be able to find Forrest Gump, because either he's just mowing lawns for free or going to play ping pong in China. There's no point to run him down.
So all those situations. All those situations, that's after Bubba died, his current best friend at the time. So he was alone at the time, and that was before Lieutenant Dan and him had a true friendship. He convinced Lieutenant Dan, who was somebody who felt like he had to die on the battlefield, to actually be his best friend and come to his wedding after he had his legs and he brought a date. He's able to give that growth, and he's able to give that development. And you know, I want somebody who's going to help me get a date, who's not somebody who's going to be, you know, somebody who's getting the date for him. Because if I'm having him hook me up with someone at the bar or wherever, she's probably alone, so I don't have to worry about her friend. And everything with Hitch, guess what? He needs to be hired. He doesn't truly care about you and everything. So you might grow a friendship later, but why would you want to take that risk? When you think of the best friend, you're going to think of somebody who truly cares for you. And you said that if he actually is your best friend, that he's going to be even better. You don't know that. At the end of the day, that's too much of a risk to take. When you want somebody to have, if you're going out to the bar or going out to the club or going out at the library and you're meeting a girl, that's probably going to be your buddy. And you don't want to have to pay him to take care of you. You want someone who has your true heart and intentions.
The problem is what you're saying is basically the whole question is best wingman. This person already established. You don't walk into a bar and say, who wants to be my wingman tonight? No, you and Hitch have a relationship. So he gets paid to do this. Can you imagine when he wants to see his friends happy, like he does when he finally grows that bond with Kevin James in the movie? The problem with your movie is completely against what you're saying. If we said best friend, hands down. But he couldn't even land his own girl. He literally had to chase her around the entire country trying to find Jenny.
Because he's going to do whatever it takes. But when you think of Jenny, she's one. When you think of Jenny, she's one of the poison. But when you think of Jenny, she's poison. That's somebody he knew as a kid. So he's going. When you have that love, you're not going to fight that. When you think of when you're in a think. Yes, it's the honest fact. When you think of Jenny, she's poison. But he had that love for her, and he did whatever it takes to get her, and eventually he got her for the wrong reasons. Yes, they got married though, so you can't deny that fact. And at the end of the day, she knew that deep down he had what it takes once she got done with all of her drugs and her hippie stage. Exactly. When you think of Lieutenant Dan, he made him become a shrimp captain. He has that focus, and he'll do whatever it takes. And he also, similar to when he mowing the lawns, he did that for free because he did that out of the kindness of his heart. Guess what? Hitch, he ain't hooking you up for free because he's getting paid to do this.
He's your friend. But the main problem with your guy completely is that he literally chases the one girl around and can't ever nail her. So you think he's going to be able to convince that he's going to set you up? No,
it's similar. It's just like any situation in life when you ask people.
He literally looks at Lieutenant Dan one time and goes, I'm going to be shrimp boat captain. And he literally looks at him and goes, you got no legs, Lieutenant Dan. That's a rude friend. Don't bring out the weakness of the friend. You literally have to help him.
But guess what? When Lieutenant Dan finally got legs, guess what the first thing he said to him? Lieutenant Dan, you got new legs. He's also going to bring out the compliments. He's a realist. So when you go up to a bar and you meet a girl and you're like, I want to get with her. He's like, no, buddy, you've already had 6 beers. She's not as attractive as you think. He's going to be a realist for you, and he's going to have your back.
He won't even realize that's the point.
Yet no, because it's just deep down what he's going to tell you that she's going to tell you the truth and the facts. Hitch, he's not going to have your back with your true intentions because he's getting paid. It's all a business for him. It's why would you even trust that guy?
It's literally his
friend. But it's who would you want it to be? Okay,
that's fine. All right, you guys. That was a fantastic debate. You guys now have your closing statements to make. So whenever you're ready, you can start it. We'll start with I believe we start with Henry this time, right?
Okay, so the question is, who's going to be the best wingman? A wingman is somebody that you truly is going to have your back, but also not going to have fear. He's going to have his goal in mind. He's going to have his mission. When you think of a spy, who are you going to want to accomplish the mission one? The one who's the most focused, the one who's not going to be detracted. Or when you have somebody, or even a debate, someone who's not going to get off track and is going to focus on the question at hand. So that's what I want with Forrest Gump as my wingman. He's going to have my true intentions at heart because he truly cares about me. And yes, he is simple-minded, but he knows what love is. So he knows exactly what he needs to find, and he knows exactly what, is best for me. When you think of Hitch, he's somebody who he's a kind of like a gigolo for hire or something. Like he's pimping you out to these girls. He's doing whatever it takes. He doesn't have your true intentions at heart. It is not exactly what you want. And if he sees the most hottest girl, guess what? She might be a bitch, or she might have a terrible attitude, but she's hot, so she's going to hook you up, and you're going to regret that later down the road. Forrest, he's actually going to vet out these girls. He's going to have your best intentions in mind. Forrest Gump, let's go get a drink.
How dare you, you bastard. Hitch is literally a matchmaker. He literally sets it up by personality. That's the best thing about him. And the one person that you could seek out is the guy that does it for a living. You're just friends with him. You watch football with him. He can literally help you land a date, no problem. The problem with Forrest Gump, you said a fear and no fear and blah, blah, blah. He literally ran for like 3 years. He literally ran away from all of his problems for 3 years. The problem is he doesn't have that mindset to be able to know what's going on. He literally couldn't catch a hint that Jenny wasn't interested in him the entire time. And the one time that he was presented with an opportunity to help his friend that's at the lowest of the low, he literally threw her off of it. He threw her off the girl and said, "She tastes like cigarettes, Lieutenant Dan." Literally, Forrest does not have a filter. He says the wrong things at the wrong moments. He literally wouldn't even help your self-esteem at the end of the day. And he literally would wreck things. Like when he's driving the boat and then sees Lieutenant Dan, he literally leaps off the boat and it wrecks. That's the problem with Forrest Gump. He's one-track mind, and he will be focused on himself, not the other thing. Hitch will be literally the one to be able to help you and find the right girl for you, not just the hottest. Hitch is the correct as the best wingman.
Well, all right. Wow, that was that was another interesting debate. Two completely different types of people that we heard here. But I'll tell you this right now: both competitors really sold their picks. This is going to be a hard one to judge. I am going to go over to Malcolm. Malcolm, I want you to tell me first. What did you think of that particular debate, and which way are you swinging?
This debate was definitely closer than what I thought it was going to be when I heard the picks. Because Henry almost convinced me that Forrest Gump would be better than Hitch, almost. But then Cody came in with the haymaker that like when he talked about how Forrest Gump often runs from his own problems, that he and his own relationship with Jenny didn't work out. It's one of those ones that I think I'm going to have to go with Cody on this.
Okay. I will go next. Man, I really thought I was going one way with this one, and I really did. I really thought I was, but as much as one person made a lot of sense, I really enjoyed the argument from the other person, and it really did make me think that maybe, maybe. So I have to give my point to Henry on this one, just because I didn't think when I first saw this that Forrest Gump would be a good wingman. But Henry kind of convinced me of this, so I'm going to give my point to Henry this time, and and we'll move right over to Jay. Jay, what did you think about this? And sorry for making you pick between us.
I hate being a tiebreaker, but instead of trying to write everything down, I typed out a lot of what was happening. So what I've got written down is Forrest would run from everything and is kind of obsessed with Jenny. That was quite a bit, and it is one of his bigger personality traits. He is obsessive with one person. If that name is mentioned, he really kind of just focuses in on that and would leave you alone at the bar. Hitch, Henry said that Hitch was a gigolo for hire, not a gigolo for hire, and not really. Cody countered it really well with the kind of sets it up by personality matchmaking. I gotta give it to Cody. He just came in and was hitting the points. I agree with him. I don't see Forrest Gump as a wingman. I see him as a best friend, somebody you could grab a drink with. but not the person to be like, oh, hey, look, I think that girl's cute. Maybe I should go talk to her. I wonder if her name's Jenny.
And Jay throws in the Forrest Gump imitation there. That's great. Okay, so we have ourselves a 2-0 lead for Cody right now, running into question number 3. So let's do that next. Your guys' next question. And I love this question. I think this is going to be great. I think it's fun as heck. So here it is, folks. No further delays on this one. What movie would be improved if you were drunk? Henry, you've got your choice to go first this time for question number 3. So whenever you're ready to start talking with your intro, you go right ahead.
All right. So multiple things when you think of this question. You think of how do your mind work when you're drunk, and you also think of how is it affected in comparison to when you're sober. So when you think of a movie, when you're drunk, you think of somebody who's just trying to have dumb, stupid, ridiculous fun. But when you also think of a movie, how would it be improved? It needs to not be that good. So I went with a movie that some people, yes, may say it's pretty good, but they're also crazy people. This movie is not very good, but it has some decent elements to it, and it would definitely be improved if you're drunk. I'm talking about Adam Sandler's Billy Madison. This is a movie that has stupid, immature humor, but guess what? When I have a few drinks, I feel like I'm a 15-year-old as well. So I'll actually love this movie so much, and I'm going with Billy Madison from Adam Sandler.
All right, good choice. Cody, it's your turn. Talk whenever you want to.
So I took this question because I don't like this question. I've said that before. I don't like this, but I will say what I mean. I don't think the movie has to be bad to be improved by drunk. I think you can take the jokes and make them beyond funny, like fall off the couch, hammered, drunk. And I'm talking the one movie that has plenty of ball jokes, plenty of white dog shit, plenty of this house is a fucking prison. I'm talking about Step Brothers. Because regardless if you like Will Ferrell or you do not, the secret is if you give yourself some Jack and Cokes before you watch this movie, you'll probably be pissing down your leg by the end of it because it will be so damn funny to you because the immature jokes will hit a lot more than they do when you're older watching it. You're like, that's not really that funny anymore. But now when you get hammered, you get back into that mindset where that shit is hilarious. So Step Brothers is my choice.
All right. Wow, this is going to be awesome. I can't wait to hear what you guys have in store. Henry, you get to go. Or no, you don't. I'm going to give you guys a countdown to 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and you guys are going to start going. So 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
So when I'm thinking of these movies, Step Brothers is an amazing movie, and it's going to make you laugh when you're sober. So it's not going to really do much improving when you're drunk. It's like when you go to a crowd and you're like, cheer for A, cheer for B. The cheering is loud no matter what. So at that point, it becomes like, I think it was A, I think it was B. So that's when you look at your laugh meter. I think I laughed a little harder when I was drunk. I think I laughed when I was a little harder when I was sober. When you look at Billy Madison, there's a lot of immature humor in that movie where you're like, oh my God, I can't. Why did I like that when I was 12 years old or 15 years old or whenever I watched Billy Madison originally? But now I'm hammered, you're like, holy cow. Yes, this is actually really funny because it actually alters your mind state. Your movie with Step Brothers, you're going to be laughing no matter what, and it is a great movie. There's not going to be much improvisation there, or there's not going to be much improving there. With Billy Madison, it's going to be a drastic leap in improvement because of your altered state of mind.
Because that's where I have to tell you you're wrong is because Billy Madison is literally where Adam Sandler is in the height of what Adam Sandler was. This movie, I love this movie. I have no problem with this problem. The problem is I think this movie actually gets worse if you're drunk, and that's what I'm going to say. Because those moments that get really slow, like when Eric has to confront the wrestler in the kitchen, and he's like, no, that's not funny. That's very slow, very dry. When Eric's in the boardroom talking about what he needs to do, not funny. If you're drunk, you're going to fall asleep. I'm saying if we all get hammered right now and we put on Step Brothers, I guarantee everybody on this call is dying of laughter even more. There's parts in Step Brothers that I don't laugh at, but when I was drunk and watch it, fantastic. Let me tell you that. Because white dog shit's not funny to me originally, but it adds more. Even like the little jokes. And your movie actually has a lot of heart in it, and that's where you're going to miss a lot of it if you're drunk. Because it literally shows Billy Madison's redemption story. There's like a lot of heart about that movie that doesn't need being drunk would ruin that. You wouldn't catch it, and you'd probably fall asleep on the couch.
See what you're saying is what the point of when you get to the elements of when you're watching a movie that is improving when you're drunk. Guess what? There's some slow elements. I can go get another beer, and I don't have to waste any time at the end of the moment. So right when I come back and I have that beer cracked open, I'm going to be laughing again. When you watch your movie, yes, there's the elements of when at the beginning when the whole montage, you're getting to know them as grown men and all that stuff. It's kind of slow to start off and doesn't get into the jokes for about 10-15 minutes into the movie. With Adam Sandler, it's so stupid from the beginning when you first see him into the pool and he's making his jokes and he's automatically acting like a kid. When you watch that drunk and you're like, holy shit, dude. First of all, look at that house, and you're kind of admiring the scene. You're getting involved into the world. With your movie, it's got some good direction and stuff, but that's not what you're looking at when you're drunk. When you think of stupid humor,
you're incorrect, because it literally starts with pretty much, I didn't want salmon. I said it 4 times. This wedding is horse shit. Like, those are moments that the last start.
You hit that. That is
yes,
that
in the montage. That's
yeah,
in the montage.
yeah, but that's later into the movie. You meet them.
It's literally in the first 5 minutes. You can fact check me if you want, but I'm telling you right now, Billy Madison literally does not have the same heart and emotion if you do not put in that kid mentality. When you drink, you're literally just Norm on the side of the pool, be like, whoa, what day is it? Because they don't even realize what's going on in the movie. You have no character development, you have no thing, and you miss the heart of it. So I don't think your movie improves while you're drunk. I think that you can have a little bit more fun since you're cynical and you don't find it funny. But I'm telling you, Step Brothers is funny from the get-go, and being drunk will add it even more, because the kid jokes, the dick jokes, the ball jokes that you don't find funny when you're an adult, when you're drunk, you have that sense of childhood again, and you laugh, and you literally can tear up watching those moments. Your moments has a lot of slow parts, and yes, you can get up a bunch of beer, but who literally has to put their beer in the other room? Put it next to you when you're watching a movie. Why do you have to get up every time to go to the bath?
So you want to talk about how my movie has slow movies. The final scene of your movie when it gets to the Catalina wine mixer, there's some funny elements to it, but as a whole, it's a more of a dramatic moment and has the arc and quote unquote the whole singing moment. That stuff's not going to be funny. You're going to feel like, oh god, I don't like opera. I'm trying to listen to some Queen right now or some rock music, something like that. It really takes you out of it, and it fucking
jump up and start singing with it, even if you don't know the fucking words. They're gonna all your friends are gonna be operatic singers by that moment.
No, it's gonna take you out. I mean, that's similar to when you're talking about with Adam Sandler movies. You think I'm making voices like this all the time? No, but when I'm drunk, I'm gonna be going along with them with the voices and everything. So it has the moments, and you're also the hot teacher. What is that?
It's
1 minute or
hot teacher. You get Chris Farley showing his nipple. That's a disappointing moment.
No, guess what? When I'm having a few drinks, those hot nipples are pretty hot. I'm actually into those nipples because I've been having a few drinks. It's even more fun. It's improving. No, it's improving. And also when you have the moments with in Step Brothers with
a real weird element that I'm not fully okay with, because all the kids and stuff are sitting there talking, and a bunch of kids are sitting there talking about like fart jokes and Nintendo 64.
Exactly, and that's funny when you're drunk. And guess what? Only the cool kids piss their pants. Only the cool kids pee their pants. That is hilarious when you're drunk, and that is going to get you going.
I'm telling you right now.
Huh?
Step Brothers overall will be a better movie. Even all the little jokes.
But nobody actually pisses on themselves. In Billy Madison, you say your movie's going to make you piss your pants. In my movie, it piss your pants. And guess what? I'm probably going to piss my pants with it because it's hilarious, because it improves. It's actually going to make me want to do that.
Takes his nutsack out and bounces on the drum set and said, Moby Dick's playing, John Bob's playing Moby Dick for real. Like, that is a stupid ass
but that is hilarious when you're sober. It's not improving. That's the type of stuff that you like no matter what.
Wow. All righty. That was insane. Okay, guys. Before we give any votes for anything, I just want to say how impressive you guys have both been on these 3 questions. You guys still have your closing to do, and we're going to get to that right away. I believe that Cody gets to start his first.
I think the problem is Billy Madison is already a fun movie, and a lot of people that like it really like it. I think the better movie, The Drunk, that if you were going to pick something from Happy Madison, I think Waterboy would have been a way better choice for that. Billy Madison has heart and tone, and like you see him actually develop in character, which is weird in a movie like Billy Madison, and you lose that if you're hammered because you don't get those jokes and you don't get some of the slow moments, because that would bore you and you probably put to sleep. Step Brothers is nonstop humor from the get-go of that movie. Literally, when they're leaving the house and says, I'm watching the show with the lady, and he's making eating nachos and eating Cocoa Puff. It's literally slapstick the entire way. And even if you didn't find them funny, if you find Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly not humorous, it's literally going to add more to it by adding alcohol, because you will find those child white dog shit jokes super funny and super relatable, and you'll have a way better time. It will improve that movie for you.
All right, Henry, whenever you want.
So my big issue with Step Brothers is you ask anybody what was their favorite Will Ferrell movie or what was their favorite comedy of the 2000s or even favorite comedy of all time. A lot of people are going to say Step Brothers. When you think of what is your favorite Adam Sandler movie, you're automatically going to go with Happy Gilmore or, you know, like you said, The Waterboy. Thank you very much. They're better movies. With this movie, it is too immature, but then guess what? You have some drinks and you stoop down to that level. You're going to have some fun. Like you said, you have the hot teacher, you have Chris Farley Pond's nipples, you have all the cool kids piss your pants, you have everything that's like sticking to the man because you have the guy trying to overpower your dad's company, or guess what? You're drunk now. Man, now I want to go run my own business. And this guy's a jackass and I can too. It puts you in that right mindset. It actually improves your movie. Your movie is a good movie no matter what. And yes, you like I said, you might think you might laugh a little harder, but that's kind of 50-50. Mine, you're 100% going to laugh harder because odds are you didn't laugh the first time because it's really not that funny on Sober Watch.
All right. Wow. Okay, guys, that was absolutely amazing. Way to go, you guys. I'm really impressed. We're going to go to Malcolm first. Malcolm, how do you feel about this? And which way are you swinging?
Yeah, this was a tough one because they both their points kind of were the same but different at times because like it's one of those ones like they're both talking about how the jokes can get more funnier and stuff. Like I think the one thing that stuck for me is in Cody's opening, he said that the movie doesn't have to be bad to be improved with alcohol, and his points for Step Brothers kind of stuck with me more because like he brought up that it's non-stop humor and all that, and that Billy Madison has heart, and that if you watch Billy Madison drunk, you miss the heart of the story, even though like Henry did counter that by saying that the humor would be amplified. But I mean, I still think Cody did enough to get the point.
Okay, fair enough. Let's go to Jay. Jay, what did you think about this, and where are you going?
See, I'm feeling what Malcolm said, but I'm leaning in the opposite direction. I have to give this one to Henry, and as the closest thing to a professional alcoholic on this board, I have watched both these movies sober and shit-faced, and I like Billy Madison more when I'm a little drunk. I'm not gonna lie. If you have the emotional depth of a mud puddle, yeah, you'll miss out on the heart in this movie. But watching this movie, the Chris Farley nipples really got me. You know, Chris Farley's one of my favorites. The overall arguments were very similar, but I have to give this one to Henry. And I hate to put you in that situation, Sandy.
All right. So, Matt, have you been listening?
Yes.
All right. Good, because I got a phone call halfway through that, and I missed the entirety of the main round. So I have to, in order to be fair, throw it over to Matt for the third judge to give his judgment on this. I do apologize, but that was an important phone call that I couldn't miss.
I did not expect to be in this situation at all.
I apologize.
But no, you're good. You're good. All right, so I have been listening. I don't have all the points down, obviously, because I didn't expect to be here, but that's okay. I'm going to go based off of memory, and I hope my memory suits me well on this. So, listening to what would be the best movie drunk, you guys had similar arguments for the different movies, kind of pointing out different things, but you were arguing one movie's already funny, basically, without being drunk. This one would be improved and even funnier if drunk. Either way, I think when it comes down to it, I'm going to have to give, in my opinion, my point to Henry. Like I said, I mean, either way, your arguments are so similar, but I feel like he delivered his more. Like, I guess he delivered him better, I guess, just slightly. But yeah, like with the funny noises you would make and the whole thing. And then, like you said, Cody, you're going to be singing at the end. You guys put it down, but I think just Henry, the way he delivered it, stuck out to me a little more. So I will have to give it to Henry.
All right. Wow. Okay. So we have Cody in the lead, 2 points to 1 over Henry. So we are going into a speed round here, guys. Each player is going to get, I believe they're going to get 30 seconds to open and then 15 seconds to close. So what will happen is I will read the question. The first person who is going to answer will start off the argument. I will start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Your question is, who played the better Bruce Wayne, Christian Bale or Michael Keaton?
Christian Bale.
Michael Keaton.
All right. All right, I heard Cody first. So, Cody, you can start your 30 seconds whenever you like.
Christian Bale literally played the best playboy kind of millionaire, threw his money around, showed up parties, bought hotels, did the stuff that you would want to see. Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne was a little crazy, a little out there, a little nuts. He didn't seem like the millionaire that you would believe him to be. He played a better Batman, and I think that's what the difference is with Bale. Bale literally is that playboy that shows up at the parties, that gets all the girls' attention to him. Keaton has just got one love interest and battles with Catwoman. It's not really showing off Bruce Wayne that much. How much time do I think?
That was time.
Okay.
Perfect. 30 seconds.
Yell it. Yeah, just yell it.
Well, no, he hadn't. As soon as
Okay,
he hit 30.
Yeah, he pulled the perfect late night where he ended early. So, all right, that's Cody's opening. Henry, your opening will begin as soon as you start talking.
Okay, so the thing with Michael Keaton, he's just got so much charisma. He's got so much character, and yes, he's a great Batman, but also a great Michael. He's also a great Bruce Wayne. When you think of Batman Returns, one of the best moments in the entire movie is like, "Oh, should we fight?" And it has everything that you go for it because you have the character of Bruce Wayne that has that heart and emotion, everything that you care about that character. Everything with Christian Bale, his character, he's kind of gritty. You don't really necessarily feel him as Bruce Wayne. You think of more of as kind of a gritty, just regular person. He's kind of like a fighter and everything. It's not the Bruce Wayne you think of. It's some guy. He's a little handsome. He could be rich, but that could just be any character. Michael Keaton is specifically Bruce Wayne.
All right. So you guys will both have 15 seconds to close your argument out. And I believe
It's me. It's same with me.
that we continue with Cody. So Cody, your 15 seconds will start whenever you start talking.
Yeah, charisma, guess what? That's any Hollywood actor ever. I'm telling you right now, with Christian Bale, we get more scenes with him as Bruce Wayne than we ever do as Keaton. Keaton is mostly in the cowl the entire time. And the thing is, you get to see the thing of Bruce Wayne. He literally buys hotels. He does the thing because he's rich. He can literally shut down anybody he wants.
All right. Good close. How about Henry? Henry, your time starts whenever you want.
Yeah, you say we don't see necessarily as much of Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne, but when we do, it's standout moments. Guess what? Practically, Christian Bale had an entire movie as Bruce Wayne in The Dark Knight Rises, and that's arguably everyone's least favorite Batman movie and Nolan movie. It's the worst thing ever because you have him as Bruce Wayne the entire time, and it's definitely a flop and it's a fail.
All right. Wow. Okay. So that was our first speed round question. And who was the better Batman, Christian Bale or Michael Keaton, or sorry, best Bruce Wayne? I apologize. Thank you for melting that, Cody. And we had Christian Bale for Cody, and Henry picked Michael Keaton in this one. I am going to go to Jay. Jay, what do you think about this battle, and where do you throw your point?
See, this one's tough, and it's mainly because it's not that people don't remember Michael Keaton's Batman. It's that Christian Bale's Batman is really more present. He's closer to the time. That being said, Henry really did kind of make a point that he said, when you don't really see him a whole lot as Bruce Wayne, but when you do, those are standout moments. I remember Keaton in the tuxedo. I'm going to give my point to Cody. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to give my point to Henry. Wow.
I had to do a double take on that one. I was just about to
I was like, all right, Subraff.
I was about to write down on Henry's side, and then he said, "I got to give my point to Cody." I was like, "What?"
No, I was gonna continue rambling on, and no, I give my point to Henry.
All right, I will go next on this one. I thought that Henry had that one really good point where when we see Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne, they were standout moments. To me, that didn't necessarily make the better Bruce Wayne, but I thought Cody's points about us seeing Bruce Wayne more, him doing more Bruce Wayne stuff in the Dark Knight trilogy, actually made his point for him very early on in the battle. So my point goes to Cody based off of that. All right, Malcolm, put you in your favorite spot.
Yeah, I mean, Henry did have some good points in his opening, because with bringing up that Keaton was good at Bruce Wayne at moments, but I think Cody did have the better argument. I think the problem with Henry, I think his rebuttal kind of fell apart, because he did bring up the point of that Dark Knight Rises, he was mostly Bruce Wayne, but then he started talking about how the movie was people's least favorite, and which really didn't help his argument. I mean, just because hear me out. Just because a movie is people's not favorite sort of movie doesn't mean that the actor was terrible as Bruce Wayne because of it. So my point does go to Cody.
And I believe that is our match. So your winner with a score of 3-1 in an epic battle between two great debaters, Cody Newberry. Wow. What an amazing fight. I know that there's going to be some talking about this going forward, but I got to hand it to both of our competitors. They both played amazing matches. I want to thank Jay and Malcolm. What did you guys think about this match overall? And, what are you looking forward to seeing what's going to happen in Movie Battlegrounds? Go ahead, one of you.
This debate was really good. It just came down to the wire, just so close. The choices were so different, and a lot of them it was really hard as a judge to sort of pick and sort of make the point sort of make sense in your head who argued it better. But so yeah.
Nice. No, absolutely valid points. Jay, what did you think about this battle, and what are you looking forward to seeing from Movie Battlegrounds going forward?
Sure, I'm looking forward to more epic debates like this. This one kind of just threw me for a loop. I really thought that Henry had it after he nailed him with the Dark Knight Rises was the worst of the three, and it was mostly Bruce Wayne. And to me, that's really what won it. I know I didn't say it because I didn't want to ramble on, but this was fun. I can't wait to actually participate a little bit more in this.
Nice. Awesome. Well, we loved having you. You too, Malcolm. Thanks so much. And I would be remiss to not say thank you to Matt, who's been, in the background taking care of us here and helping me out, as this was my first time hosting the Movie Battleground. So, Matt, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. This match was fantastic in my minds. Each one of them brought their A games. I was really, really impressed with it. Debating is one of those subjective things. You put 3 new judges on here, and 3 new people have completely different answers for what we gave. But you know what? We're going to go over to our winner. Cody Newberry, you've made your mark. You'll be going for the championship. How do you feel after that debate?
I feel very lightheaded at the moment, but that's just because of a sickness. But Henry is literally the person. This is Apollo and Rocky. We battle. We train so much to try to get the best match out, and that's why you always say that the things were so different. We know that going into it. He's not going to pick another Playboy to match up with Hitch. I'm not going to pick another teen comedy, teen sci-fi movie to battle with Back to the Future. You just can't do it. That's an art of debate. We have huge respect for each other. We can probably go back and forth of where we think the judging was wrong on one and versus the other, but that's the whole thing. That's why we want 3 judges. That's why we want it based that way. Even if we disagree with the ruling, we can be mad about it, but we know that it's what you heard, and that's fair. And we can be mad about it, but at the end of the day, that's the rules. This is one of those main reasons that I want to tell everybody in this community. This isn't trivia. This is debate. Doesn't matter what my record is in Movie Battleground. You can see today that I've only had one opportunity to play. If you give me more, all I have to say is Luca, Chance, whoever's next, good luck. And Isaac, you've held that title for too long, and I'm going to take it off your shoulder. I'm just putting it there.
All right, that's absolutely true. As a wise man once told me, when you're debating, or when you're judging debating, it's strictly and 100% about what you hear and not about what you think. So, Henry, unfortunately, you finished second today. How do you feel about your performance overall, and what are you looking forward to today?
So I knew this was going to be an epic fight. I knew I was going to have my back against the wall the entire time. Cody is one of the greatest debaters that we'll ever see. Put him up against Dan Murrell. It's going to be a fight. You're gonna see some sweat on that bald head of his. I knew this was going to be a great fight. I was expecting to lose 3-0, but nobody likes knockouts, so they gave me the point in that third question, and I appreciate that. So that was a lot of fun. I had some fun with that last one, and maybe if Jay would have stepped up and actually said his point about the Dark Knight Rises thing, he might have convinced Malcolm, because Malcolm could have completely said the exact opposite of what the point was. But like everyone said, it's all subjective. You have your debates, and that's why we have 3 judges, because we can be heated about the judgments at the end of the day, but when you have 3, that's just how it is. So the judges can work together, and potentially, I've heard multiple times in debates where it's like, I actually want to go next because I want to hear people's reasonings, or he actually swayed me in his reasoning. So that's the whole point of 3 judges. So we want to say this moving forward. I'm pretty sure this is the first debate in Battleground that has 3 judges, and it proves that at the end of the day, it's the right choice to make, because it's less weight on one person's shoulders, and it's also just more fair, and just it's the objective way to make subjective points of view better. So great job, everyone. I had a blast. Thanks for the pity point at 1, but Cody, I can't wait to see you destroy those guys. And Isaac, answers or not, you're fucking going down, guy.
All righty then. Well, Henry, thanks so much for that. I did jump the gun a little bit there. Cody does have another opponent before he can get to the title, but we have a bit of an announcement to make about that. The second match that was supposed to happen today has actually been canceled due to a competitor dropping out and withdrawing his name. So Cody's next opponent will be, due to default, you got it all right, people. It is the Cobra, Chance Ellison. Luca Hope Fallon had to drop out. So it was considered a forfeiture, and Chance will be moving on to the next round. So I'm going to now push it over to Cody for a second. Now that he has that information, what do you think about your competitor going forward next, Cody? And what's your plan on? And you don't have to give us super details, but what's your plan on moving forward to face Isaac?
So basically how I'm going to see this, the last 3 debates I have, I've lost 2 points. And one of the realms was in music, which I have no fucking clue about. Okay? So the basic thing is, subjectively, if we get 3 judges and that are unbiased, no offense, about the Schmoedown competitor, I will take Chance Ellison out. I prep harder than anybody else at debate, and I expect it to be a dogfight because I've literally watched him and Henry debate numerous times before. Oh, there he is. Cool. So there's the guy that I'm going to destroy.
Well, let's
watched.
Who didn't earn his way to your match, by the way.
Yeah, didn't earn it.
I would have gladly fought
so
Luca.
That's cool.
I'm getting a loss on my record, and this guy's getting handed down to it. Thank God for the Schmoedown.
I would have gladly fought Luca, but he bowed out, so not my fault.
and
You're more than welcome to rematch me to earn Cody, but yeah, you probably won't do that.
there's nothing I can say.
Mr. Mike Kalinowski's partner cheating his way to the geek title. We all know how you roll.
What are you gonna do?
Let's all welcome to the stage here one of our favorite people, Chance the Cobra Ellison. Chance, how you doing today? Yeah, don't listen to these guys. You got your ticket for the next round due to a forfeit, but you know what? You've got a massive challenge in front of you. How do you think you're going to take down Cody?
I've seen Cody debate for speed rounds and mostly on Late Night for Take 3. Dude's good. And I've seen enough of his games, so I feel like I can better prepare for him. So I feel pretty good with my chances. So this is gonna be fun. I'm ready to go, Cody.
Awesome, Cody. One last question for you. You said that you one of your debates that you did was a music debate. Do you happen to remember what key the debate was in?
Yeah, it was in fuck you minor. So yeah, all I know is Chance, go to New York, beat Janine, then you can come back and I can kick your ass, and then you can go back to Schmoedown where you do really well at, because debate I'll show you where you fall.
Okay.
All right, guys. Well, you know what? That's going to be it for us here. I want to thank Henry Confidential Sanchez and Cody Newberry and Chance Cobra Ellison for popping on here. But to Cody and to Henry for putting on an absolute fantastic debate. I want to thank Jay and Malcolm, both you guys. Thank you so much for showing up today. Matt, once again, very, very awesome that you were here. My name is Sandy the Sandman Robinson. I've been your humble host today. Stay tuned because we will have the next Movie Battlegrounds match, and that match will be Cody Newberry versus Chance Ellison. We can't wait to see you. Please leave a comment, like, subscribe, and let us know what you think about this match because it's going to be awesome to hear from you guys. So for everybody here at Movie Battlegrounds, have fun, debate movies.